In this section of the training, you are going to learn the most important ideas for you to be able to remain calm in a crisis. Now, many of the things that we're learning here, we're going to relearn at the 100x DNA Masterclass. However, what's going to make the Masterclass different is that we're going to start to use the science of neuro-linguistic programming to change the way that you think, to change the way that you feel, and to make sure you're taking the right actions to get you a step closer to your goals every single day. Now, every day in life, we're going to experience challenges and obstacles. And from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, we are going to experience ups and downs. And the goal of emotional intelligence is to have the ability to recognize those moods that we go through at any given time. Now, what we're going to discover here is we're going to discover how can we get into our focus zone? How can we get into that state of flow? And how can we avoid those distraction zones where we start to experience fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs? So let's unpack this together. Now, what we have right here in the middle is we have this calm and relaxed state. And all of us experience periods of times where we are free from mental or emotional interference. So I want you to imagine that sometimes throughout the day, sometimes throughout the week, you're in this calm and relaxed state. However, being complex beings, we also experience stimulation. And from moment to moment, we experience periods of stimulation by something that is going on within our mind or outside of our body. It could be happening in our home environment, or it could be happening in our work environment. And we could have these moments where we experience these positive emotional states and we start to feel stimulation. In addition, we also have the opposite. As you know, night follows day. We have the winds and we have the rains. We have the fire, we have the water, we have the air, we have the earth. We also go through periods of our life where we experience agitation. And this is where something that's happening within us, maybe our thoughts or our feelings, or in our home or in our working environment, starts to impact us. And we start to experience these negative emotional states. Now, throughout our days, weeks, months, and years, sometimes we even get extreme stimulation. And this is where we get very strong positive emotional states, and it's generated by the situation that we're in. We can also experience the opposite, where we get extreme agitation. We can get extreme and very strong negative emotional states. And sometimes it can cause us to experience other fears, like the fear of being taken advantage of, the fear of rejection, the fear of losing our stability, and the fear of making mistakes. So we move from these calm and relaxed states to these stimulated states, down to the agitated, all the way up to the extreme stimulation, and all the way down to extreme agitation. And as you look at this, you may begin to realize that you may be in a distraction zone for longer than you are in a focus zone. And this is the goal of 100x DNA, is to help you work through this. Now, I want to take you to the next level of learning here. And what I'd like you to realize is that throughout our days, we can go from the morning in a calm and relaxed state, and then we can start to get excited. And I don't know if you've had this experience before, but you start to move towards a goal. You've set a goal and you start to take steps closer to it, and you start to experience these positive emotions. We can even start to increase those positive emotions when we get to extreme stimulation. I don't know if it's happened to you where you've been planning a holiday, probably before COVID-19. You've been planning a holiday, and as that holiday gets closer and closer and closer to you, the more excited you become, but the more distracted you become. You're so excited about going on the holiday that you start to forget your work. You oftentimes forget your other responsibilities. So these positive emotions, they can keep us in a focus zone, but we can become so excited that these positive emotions can also become a distraction. Is this making sense so far? Now, the reverse also happens. Sometimes we become agitated. You might feel this when you're procrastinating. You might know that you're avoiding certain people. You might be avoiding certain places. You might be avoiding doing a certain job, and you start to procrastinate. And you start to experience that internal frustration. You become frustrated with yourself because you know you should be taking action, but you're not. Now, over a period of time, when you avoid those people, places, or things, you may even start to fear failure because you haven't done what you said you'd do, and you now start to experience the fear of failure. You start to study more and work harder, but you realize that you're just avoiding action. And sometimes people get stuck in this state of learning. They keep learning and learning and learning, but they don't take action. And all of a sudden they become frustrated within themselves. They fear failure. They fear losing their stability. And all of a sudden these negative emotions turn into fears of failure. These doubts creep in. Am I ready? Are other people more successful? They're older than me. They've got more experience than me. And we start to compare ourselves to others. And so it's very easy to go from a calm state into an agitated state and then to an extreme agitated state, even to where you start to feel stuck and you don't know what to do next. Now, this is both natural and normal. And what our goal is with the 100x DNA Masterclass is to get you out of that extreme agitation where you become distracted. Our goal is to get you out of that extreme stimulation where you become distracted and to help you maintain a great focus so you're calm and relaxed and you can perform at your best. So what we do is we take everything that we're learning here. You've been learning about emotional intelligence. And as you navigate through self-awareness, through self-regulation, through social awareness, through social regulation, and through motivation, as you apply what you've been learning today, then you can spend more time in that focus zone. Now, you remain in that focus zone by asking the most important questions from emotional intelligence. Remember, self-awareness is to observe and label and gauge the impact on performance of your own personal emotional state. So to remain in that calm, relaxed state, to stay in that zone of focus, you ask yourself, what am I experiencing? Why might I be experiencing that? And how is it impacting me and my ability to perform? And as you ask those questions, you start to control your emotions. Also, self-regulation. Remember, it's to incorporate emotional energy into productive pursuits while managing impulses and disruptions. So, as we become better at managing our impulses, we ask good questions like, what could or should I do about what I'm experiencing? Why should or shouldn't I? And how can I appropriately express or impact what I am experiencing? And as we ask those questions from self-regulation, we stay in that zone of focus. We avoid the distraction zone and we stay in the zone of focus. We can also ask our questions based on motivation. Remember, motivation is to channel emotional energy to pursue your objectives that add meaning to your life. The three most important questions are, what is my overarching goal or objective? Why is it important to me? And how can I use this situation to move closer or at least not away from my goal? And as we ask those three questions, we get out of the distraction zone and we come back into the focus zone. We can also ask questions from social awareness. Now, social awareness is to ensure we are collecting and analysing the emotional signal from people around us. The three questions that we ask are, what is the other party experiencing? Why might they be experiencing that? And how is it impacting them and their ability to perform? As we ask these questions, we get out of that extreme stimulation and we come back into the zone of focus. In addition, we can ask questions for social regulation. Remember, social regulation is to positively impact each situation in which we are involved and to leave the situation better than we found it. Now, to get out of that agitated or that extreme agitation zone where we become distracted, we ask the three most important questions. Firstly, what could or should I do in this situation? Secondly, why should or shouldn't I do it? And thirdly, how can I positively impact this situation to leave it better than I found it? And when you ask these sets of questions, you remain in that calm and relaxed state. You experience the right positive emotions to move you forward. And remember, not all negative emotions are bad. Some negative emotions, when you keep them in check, can get you back into that zone of focus. So, 100x DNA is all about you unleashing new income levels. It's about you living life on your terms. It's about you becoming an impactful leader. It's about you leaving a legacy for generations to come. And the longer that you can stay in that zone of focus, the faster you can be, do, and have everything that you've wanted. I'm very excited to see you at the upcoming 100x DNA Masterclass, and I know that these ideas are going to serve you well, and you're going to become 10, 20, even 50 times more successful than you are today. Have a wonderful day, apply these learnings, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Ciao for now.